Oh, hi guys, Hidden Hermit here. How's it going? So, what's the vibe? What is the vibe? What's going on? Sorry, salt lamp. How is the sky looking, and what does the tarot say about it? That's what we're doing right now. So here's the chart at the moment, and you can pretty much not see that, but let's just continue anyway. So, of course, today is the 28th of October. It's about 3:38. It's exactly 3:38 in the morning. And the big news is, of course, it's a new moon. New moon in Scorpio. There's a lot going on in Scorpio at the moment, as well as the sun and the moon rocking up together, having a little bit of a party. Venus and Mercury are also in Scorpio, having their own little party just down here. Again, you can't see that. I do apologize. That's better. There you go. So there's the sun and the moon. There's Venus and Mercury. And of course, by the time this is uploaded and by the time you actually watch this, the moon will be racing towards Mercury and Venus, which I'm sure will be very interesting. So, yeah, Scorpio new moon, eh? It's not the cheeriest of new moons, to be perfectly fair. Here we go. Here's a little visual representation of what happens when you get a watery new moon. And isolation. That's an incredibly interesting word. So Scorpio is an incredibly powerful archetype, and the new moon, the dark moon itself, is also quite powerful. Emotions are going to be running really deep, especially if you're a water sign, especially if you've got any transit. So if you're at anything at 4 degrees Scorpio, you're going to really feel that in a quite a profound way, I would have thought. I personally have Uranus at 4 degrees Scorpio, so I'm going to be feeling particularly rebellious today, which isn't that unusual. Who knows? I might just do something crazy. Who knows? And I might actually feel a bit anxious about it as well when you think about it. A lot of that sense of second guessing yourself, really deeply looking inside yourself, is going to be very profound. So yeah, if you've got 4 degrees at any water sign, any planets in there, you're going to be making aspects to this new moon. Anything well, yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest, when talking about that. So the Scorpio moon is identified with the archetype of Lilith. Lilith's very popular these days. She was the first female rebel. She was the first female that thought that men and women should be equal. For that, she deserves a big hermit approval. Demonized over the years has the archetype of Lilith. And I say the archetype because very prominent in Jewish texts is the myth of Lilith. And for those of you who might not be aware of it, Lilith was Adam's first wife, but she refused to bow down to his wishes. God apparently decreed that she should, and she was like, no way, Jose, I'm not going to be doing that. So she went off and did her own thing. And then Eve popped up, and the archetype of Lilith and Eve do occasionally go into conflict with each other. But anyway, so Lilith she's the dark goddess, the dark moon goddess, and she fits very well with the Scorpio vibe, I believe. And in fact, this image here does have a lot of Scorpio going on in it, with the serpent. Scorpio is the sign that has 3 emanations: the scorpion, the eagle, and the serpent. And well, there's a snake. Boom. So enough about that. What else is going on in the sky at the moment? So Mars is kind of rubbing Saturn and Pluto the wrong way at the moment. So you might find it hard to discipline that fiery nature within you. Tempers may flare indeed, but Mars is in Libra as well, so things could be quite equal, but that sense of discipline may not be as profound as it could be or should be. Uranus in complete opposition with the new moon, so you might feel kind of unconventional to the way you're dealing with these deep feelings that the new moon is bringing forth. And yes, if you've got any transits of 4 degrees Taurus, you're going to feel it as well. I'm clearly thinking about how this is going to affect me, but that's not the point of this video. So Jupiter, 22 degrees Sagittarius. Jupiter's actually making quite a lot of headway through Sagittarius. It's going to be entering Capricorn in a couple of months, which is going to be a nice little shift. I say a couple of months, I believe it's sort of late November, early December. I should probably look that up, but never mind. But yeah, he's all alone at the moment, just doing his thing in Sagittarius. He's very happy in Sagittarius. So those of you who have strong Jupiters, or indeed have anything around about 12 to 29 degrees Sagittarius, you might be feeling a little bit of abundance, and you should probably ride those waves, I would suggest. Take advantage of that. Anyway, this is a what's the vibe. So let's go and see what Chance is saying about all of this. So where is our focus going to be? And I got a feeling this is going to be messy. Feeling messy? I'm feeling messy. There's going to be stones and dice everywhere. Oh, I lost one, but I caught it. Let's give that another roll. Scorpio, perfect. Perfect. So talk amongst yourselves while I just sort this out. So we've got a little bit of a moon, a little bit of Venus. Look there, the sun's been completely knocked out of place. Never mind, eh? Got a second house, so that's where the new moon is, as well as lots of Scorpio going on. There's clearly going to be a message from the new moon, which is fine by me. Absolutely fine. Uranus as well. There we go. There's Uranus. A message from Venus. Absolutely. This is messy, isn't it? This is quite ridiculous. Loads of Venus. Lots of Venus going on, as well as a Mercury. Libra. Nothing going on in us. So we got a message from Uranus as well. There's a node. We can get rid of that straight away. Nothing in Virgo. Nothing going on in Aquarius either. Which, oh well, I don't know how you feel about that. So let's get rid of those. So look at this. We have got, we'll get rid of Libra. If Mars had come up, then fine. So we have got a message from Venus and Mercury. That conjunction, 24 degrees Scorpio for Venus, which is quite kind of sexy, if you ask me. Just conjunct with Mercury at 26 degrees Scorpio. Mercury is going to be going backwards very, very soon. I say very soon, like in a matter of days. So Venus is going to overtake Mercury. But there's going to be a message there, and there's a message from the new moon. Here we go. 2 lots of Scorpio, second house. There's the moon. So a message from the moon, a message from Uranus and Taurus, a message from the Venus-Mercury conjunction. How exciting. So I'm going to be using the True Black Tarot today. He has indeed been cleansed and shuffled. He's seen a lot of work this last weekend. I did 2 days worth of readings, and he was by far the most popular deck to be used. He is almost as knackered as me, but like I say, he's been cleansed and shuffled off camera. I'm just doing this so you know I'm not making stuff up, or indeed planning it, which are two complete opposites. But never mind, let's get on with this. Time is of the essence. So first of all, a message from Uranus in Taurus. Let's go with a message from that Venus-Mercury conjunction. And finally, a message from the new moon. Currently residing in the second house. Not necessarily your second house, but a second house in Scorpio. Let's do this. So what's Uranus in Taurus trying to say? What's the rebel telling us about life at the moment? It's the Lovers. Isn't that great? That's good. So you might have unconventional ideas towards those partnerships that you have. The Lovers, for me, really does symbolize when you have a soul connection or a meeting of minds with somebody else. But Uranus, the message from Uranus is saying, well, you know, you might want to think outside the box about that partnership. By all means, do not second guess it. That's not what the message is here. But this meeting of minds, you might think about striking out on your own a little bit. When I say on your own, as a pair, and doing something a little bit strange and weird. So if you've got a good pal, if you've got a somebody you work with that you get on well with and you're on the right level, indeed, it could be a lover. Think about going on, I don't know, think about doing something a little bit strange and unusual. And I get the feeling that it's opposite the new moon as well. You can sort of put the emotion aside just have a little fun. Fun's the thing, I think. I mean, Uranus is in Taurus, so it's mixing up all those material things. So it doesn't necessarily mean you got to go shopping or anything like that. You might want to just experience something that you both love and will very much enjoy. So take a day off work and do something crazy. So this is a message from the Venus-Mercury conjunction. What's these two inner planets trying to tell us today? Well, that's lovely, isn't it? This is indeed a Venus card. This is Venus in Virgo. This is the Nine of Pentacles, the card of comfort. I do intend to shine these in the light a little bit. The card of comfort, security. So I don't know, Venus, if you've got a strong Venus, or indeed if you've got a strong Mercury, just try and be comfortable today. This new moon is stirring things up, a lot of deep stuff, but try and find the place and the license, if you like, in which to feel comfortable in that. I'm not saying disregard it. You won't be able to in this Scorpio new moon, but there's no reason why you can't just feel comfortable with yourself and what you are feeling. That sounds really abstract, doesn't it? But it's interesting that it's a Venus card with the Venus-Mercury conjunction. Now, this is going to be the most exciting card, isn't it? What messages has this Scorpio new moon got for us today? As I said before, not the cheeriest of moons, very dark and powerful archetype. So let's see what we're going with. It's the Hierophant. Interesting. So the new moon is telling us to seek guidance somewhere. It could be in relation to these deep feelings that you're experiencing, but the Hierophant isn't you. The Hierophant is somebody else, somebody you go to for guidance. Who could that be? Who could that be? Now, usually for me, the Hierophant symbolizes somebody who's got a lot of learning behind them. So, you know, teachers, members of the clergy, lawyers, doctors, all that kind of erudite learning. However, this new moon does have an emotional bent, so it might be somebody who would understand you on an emotional level. Somebody who you certainly trust, because the Hierophant for me usually is somebody you don't know. You know, it's that kind of a figure that you go to for the specific reason to get professional help, if you like. But with this message from the new moon, I'm going to suggest it's going to be somebody who understands you on an emotional level and could give you a little bit of help understanding and processing these deep, watery emotions that this new moon is bringing forth. Exciting stuff. Right, I'm going to leave it at that because, you know, I might need to go off and have a little cry. I'm just kidding. But maybe I'm not. You know, there's absolutely no reason why you can't just let it out today. New moons are the beginning of something new. They do bring forth new things and a new start, if you like. And anything that you feel will manifest at the full moon, which will be in a couple of weeks. It will be the full moon in Taurus. That's going to be exciting, and it's going to be around about that Uranus as well. Uranus is playing a very big part at the moment. It's spent a lot of time just rocking out on its own recently, but now it's been brought into play on a global level, I would suggest as well. But that's another story. So, world, that is the vibe. Thank you very much for watching for this whole almost 14 minutes. Love you lots. See you later.